We are here, baby. I'm with the freaking GOAT of LSU media, Mr. Ruffino, just dropping dimes left and right. And look, man, we are one day closer to actual tackle football. I have a question for you, Mr. Blake.
All right.
Because I know it's your show, and you should be asking me questions because I'm your guest. But where would you rank Brian Kelly in the SEC coach hierarchy right now?
5.
Yeah, I'm 5. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then what would your top 5 be? I'm sure you've done this exercise quite a bit, not only here but Ruffino and Joe show.
Off the top of my head, it would go something to some extent, probably Kirby.
Yeah.
Sark. Now I'm having a trouble at 3 because I think that Brian Kelly could be at 3.
Right.
What
about Beamer?
No, heavens no.
Heavens no.
No, it's like the Lane Kiffin. It's like the Lane Kiffin thing. If you're bringing up Brian Kelly's 2-1 against him at LSU, and by the way, he's what 6-7-3, 6-3 against him all time. I mean, he's beat him 2 out of 3 years. So, regardless of what you think about Brian Kelly, wins, losses, whatever, I mean, you can't put him above Venables. Mike Elko's only been a head coach for a year, so we'll see how that one plays out. Not Jeff Lebby, not Billy Napier. He's 2-1 against Nape.
Heupel.
No,
I'm not saying all time, because all time Brian Kelly destroys Heupel, obviously, but
I still wouldn't put Heupel, because I think, after this season you'll put Heupel below Brian Kelly.
Yeah. I'm with you, but I'm saying like right now, based on
I still wouldn't do it.
That's fair.
Yeah, I still wouldn't do it. Let's see who else. Can't be Mark Stoops. Can't be Clark Lee.
Okay. DeBoer.
You could probably have the conversation.
Yeah, I would still put Brian Kelly ahead of DeBoer because he didn't light the world on fire last year, even though he destroyed us. I would still have BK ahead of DeBoer at this point. Yes,
DeBoer,
Kalen DeBoer. I have Alabama in my college football playoff. I do.
Interesting.
I'm in the SEC title game. I do. I'm buying the Ryan Williams, Jeremy Bernard hype.
How many passes has Ty Simpson thrown?
Not enough, but
37.
But I will tell you that if it doesn't work out, I think DeBoer will find someone to distribute the football to the weapons that Alabama has next year. And I understand Jam Miller's hurt, but as much as it pains me to say, I just have a tough time with DeBoer and Grubb back together. I'm buying into it, Blake, and I hope I'm hurt. I hope I'm totally wrong about that. But yeah, let's go, man.
The wide receiver play has nothing to do with what Ryan Grubb wants to do, and I think it's the biggest lie in college football.
Oh, okay, go on. I'm interested. Yeah, let's hear.
Yeah, they were the number 1 team in the Pac-12 in rushing at Washington. In the national title game, when the run game couldn't get going, the receivers got locked down. Okay, because Ryan Grubb is like Lane Kiffin. They deceive you by making you think that the pass game is so explosive, but it's not. Everything is set up by the run and RPO and play action. They ran the ball against Texas 28 times in the playoff, 28 with their lead back. He had 154 yards, I think it was. They want to run the football at a very effective rate, more than throwing the football. Go back and watch those Oregon games where they could not get a point on the board until they could start running the football. Everything that they do is based off of their run game. Everything. I think the biggest lie has been, when it comes to Ryan Grubb as the OC at Alabama, has been, Ty Simpson's a better fit for the pass game. It's not the same offense.
Okay.
It literally is not going to be the same offense. Again, we don't look at things that really happened. We covered it. I mean, like Joe and I were there, and listen, dude, they won the Joe Moore Award because they ran the football better than anybody in the Pac-12 that was actually pretty good that year.
Yeah, no. I will say I thank Washington for beating Bo Nixon and securing that Jaden Heisman because the voters were wrongly going to do the wins thing and vote Bo Nix in there. But yeah, no, I'm with you on their run game. I am going to be interested to see what they're going to do at RB, because I was hearing that it was going to be a heavy Jam Miller show. So we'll see, but I'm really talking myself into Alabama being the best team in the SEC this year.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. You're still on the Georgia. You're still with Georgia.
But I think Texas is better than them too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and I could see that. I do, because it's kind of the square opinion that those three teams are the best three teams when they all have first-year starters and they all are replacing, well, more so Texas, they're replacing a lot. But yeah, I don't know. That's why I like coming on here, because you're able to push back. So I'm pretty pumped up.
They might be replacing stuff, but they got 2 5-star receivers. Moore's returns. The 2 touchdowns that Arch Manning threw was to the 4th wide receiver, is now a starter. Their front 7 is the best in the country. Okay. You better get with it. You better understand it and get with it. They had 2 edge rushers with 8+ sacks and didn't start. Colin Simmons played a third of the plays last year and had double-digit sacks.
Let's go.
This is what I think about the offseason, and LSU to some extent, good or bad. We talk ourselves into takes about what reality is not showing.
Oh, no.
Reality showed us last year that they return everybody in that front 7. Besides a defensive tackle, everybody returns. Everybody. Yes.
No, they lost Broughton and
other than the interior, which I just said.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Moore returns, the white kid edge returns, Simmons returns, and the 5-star returns. The other kid, what was his name?
Oh, the other 5-star edge for Texas. I'm drawing a blank, but the white kid was Burke, 91.
Yeah, Burke.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Everybody returns.
Yeah.
Carter, the kid that made Gunnar Stockton fumble in the SEC championship game was a freshman.
No, look, I'm with you on Texas. My SEC championship game is Alabama and Texas, but right now I have LSU making the playoff. I think LSU gets in. Let's go.
The only thing about Georgia is y'all go right on ahead and discredit them. Y'all go right on ahead. Y'all are doing the dumbest shit ever. Y'all go right.
Look, you were on my channel the other day telling me this.
Yeah, y'all go right on ahead. And Kirby gonna wax your ass too.
You're buying the dogs, man. Well, there's not much buying. I mean, they're still over under a 10.
Watch what I'm telling you. The running game for them was abysmal last year. They're about to come out and bop some people in the mouth. Ty Simpson, Arch Manning. You want to take the role from them? You want to take the mantle from them? You got to go into Athens and do it. And Kirby ain't going to give that bitch up lightly. Y'all keep talking. Gunnar Stockton wasn't good. Arch Manning threw 2 picks versus ULM. 2. But he gets the benefit of the doubt because he's Arch Manning. Why didn't Gunnar Stockton get that benefit of the doubt? Please tell me.
Oh, because I think Arch is better than Gunnar.
You have no clue.
I have some clue based on the footage.
You don't.
We don't have a full season of them.
He threw 45 passes, and 3 of them got picked off. One against the worst team in the SEC that lost to Toledo and ULM. In 2 starts, he threw 3 picks against 2 of the worst teams in the country, and everybody wants to walk out here and say, he's going to be better than all the other starting quarterbacks, first-year starting quarterbacks. Says whom? Because you based it off of the last name. If this was Arch Smith, you would not say that now. You wouldn't say it.
No, I've done film studies on them both, and I don't think Gunnar Stockton's bad. I don't think Gunnar Stockton's bad at all. But I feel comfortable that Arch is going to have a better season than him.
Sure, he might because he's in a more prolific offense of what they want to do.
Right.
But you can't. But what y'all do, and I say y'all talk to yourselves.
Y'all. I am Y apostrophe A L.
Yes, y'all. Like I'm in Arkansas. Y'all talk y'all shit in. Y'all talk yourselves into this shit, and then y'all piss off Kirby. You had him going 8-4. I ain't gonna lie to you. I texted to Kirby my damn self and said, "Whip these asses."
No, I have Georgia at 9-3.
They're not losing 3 games.
You convinced me that I go full 8-4.
Okay. And listen,
but maybe
I have marked down every one of these shows where you have said this, and I'm going to send you every link at the end of the season saying you shouldn't have done it.
That's fine. I've gotten some right, gotten some wrong. That's what you got to do, though, Blake. You got to be bold. You wouldn't have gotten to where you are without being bold. And
there's being bold and there's being dumb as hell. And y'all going against Kirby is dumb as hell.
I don't think it's dumb as hell to have Georgia where they are right now.
The worst year that he had was 10-2, and he beat the shit out of everybody. Still, I'm going to promise you this right now. As God is my
now, let me tell you this. Since we talk so much about Gunnar Stockton, of their skill guys, who frightens you on their offense?
Noah Thomas scares the bejesus out of me.
Yeah. So outside of him,
I think not Colby Young. I still love Dylan Bell. But here's the problem. Here's the problem with what your logic is. You're talking about skill. And this is where I was going before we got to this.
Okay.
They could not run the football last year. I guarantee you that they're going to go in against teams and they're going to punch people in the mouth. The talk coming out of Georgia right now is this offensive line is figured out. That shit don't come. If that shit comes, there's a couple of places when shit comes out of a camp, you listen to it. Georgia's one of them. Georgia is one. All right. Don't look at the comments. They can't save your ass.
Well, look. And Georgia fans are kind of like LSU fans right now with all the offensive line talent leaving and you wanting to believe that the run game is actually going to be potentially better without.
All right.
In their case,
they going to be right.
Ratledge and Jared Wilson out the door. So we'll see. We'll see. That's a fun thing about it, man. I have Georgia at 9. I have Georgia at 9 wins. But you're at Georgia 10-2 or better.
You remember this time last year, you and I have a conversation. I will send you the link. And you laughed at me when I said South Carolina was going to be the surprise team of the SEC. You laughed at me.
And they were good. I give you a lot of credit. They were a good football team.
They should have been in the playoff. They should have beaten us. We got lucky.
No, I would have preferred them being in the playoff over SMU, but I also would have preferred
all you AQ homers.
I would have preferred Ole Miss over South Carolina for sure, though. But I don't want to do that debate. People here want to talk about LSU versus Clemson.
Let's get into it. Your thoughts on Brian Kelly's comments today about the offensive line?
It's the biggest comments of anything that he has said. It's more important than Death Valley Jr. It's more important than anything else, Blake. And I give a lot of credit to Scone, and even as important, Wilson Alexander following up and saying, "Hey, what about DJ Chester?" So, Blake, you've actually been to the practice, and you speak to some of the same people I speak to as far as the offensive line. But I mean, you're Mr. Insider now. That's what makes your show so great.
Stop that.
Dude, I've just given you credit, man. I am in the midst of greatness. I'm ready to be old takes exposed by the Georgia Bulldog Nation. Even though, look, hey, I'll tell you this. I should be sunshine pumping Georgia because they've been showing me the most love on my SEC channel over the past couple of weeks. So, truth be told, I love that Brian Kelly provided some clarity on this offensive line. It is interesting, though, how different this offensive line, if it is indeed Carius Kern at right tackle, which I don't think it will be, and then if it is indeed DJ Chester or Paul Mabenga out at left guard and it's Cohen Eccles, that means that there have been so many different variations, Blake, of this LSU offensive line, not only since the beginning of fall, but you factor in spring, and then you even factor in, Blake, the Baylor game, where there was just so many different iterations of that LSU offensive line in that game. And I think right now, the way Brian Kelly broke down the offensive line, that's how I see it as well. All right. So here is.
Which is what?
Which is, I am only committing to the 3 linemen that I think should start. I'm with Brian Kelly on Tyree Adams at left tackle, center Braylon Moore, right guard Josh Thompson. Okay. I've heard Josh Thompson has had better practices since, the beginning of practice. Do you agree or disagree with that?
I do not agree with that. No.
Do you think he has been better than the left guard?
Yes. No.
Okay.
Which left guard?
Well, just the left guard in general.
I don't think holistically in the run game he's been better than DJ Chester. No.
Okay. So
I think he's been better in the pass game than DJ Chester.
Okay, that's fair, and that makes sense based on their profiles as well.
Mm-hmm.
But what would you do? Let me ask you this, because you play offensive line. How would you want the front to line up versus Clemson?
I don't know, because Carius Kern has not been in the position that I want to see him at the most.
And I'm with you as well at guard.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I would put him at right guard and move Josh to left just to see what would happen. I would have done that day one, because everything that you're going to play action out of is going to come from that right side. And I don't see people manhandling him. What I do see people doing for his teammates doing is out athleting him with speed. But when he gets his paws on you, ask Jack Pyburn what happened. Ask Jack, because Jack was on your show. Ask Jack what happens, because I saw it with my own eyes. Jack tried to get underneath his pad level, and with all due respect to him, he got put in his place. And here's the truth. When 57 has gotten his big ass mitts on somebody, he's messed them up. That is a fact. There's not an opinion. It's not like we're coming out here just saying, oh, this is an opinion of what we've seen. Bullshit. When he gets his hands on you, you're in trouble. Okay. I have seen him literally ragdoll some dudes that are out there. And I've seen him ragdoll every edge, every one of them. We were out there. Hold on. Pause. We were out there at edge, and Gabe Rutherford tried to do the same thing. Shit. All right. Let that big dude get his paws on you. You're in trouble.
I'm with you on the current hype. Yeah.
But here's the problem. The problem that I have right now at guard is that I've seen way too many tackles for loss in the interior, and I have not – the only envision that I have seen has been that interior on the right side of the defensive line continuously getting beat in the run game. Now, they locked us out pretty much the last week. They've locked us out more than they've ever had. Maybe he has taken a step up. But from my vantage point, the last time we fully got to see them, no, it was not good. And things I heard in the scrimmage, I heard it wasn't good. And you know who else who was at the practice in a little bit of a scrimmage today? I mean, they practiced today. Ryan Leaf was there, and I know you have your reserves on him. Did you hear what he said? Hey, offense, you got smacked in the face today by the defense, didn't you? How are you going to respond tomorrow? That is an exact quote. He was at practice.
Yeah.
He has no bias in this whatsoever. None. So, again, if he's saying that, where am I supposed to be?
What do you so Brian Kelly referenced DJ Chester being a potential offensive tackle.
I think he misspoke on the first one.
Yeah. So do you think Chester can play offensive tackle?
I've never seen him there. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, because that's what he did in high school.
It would benefit him, because if you've noticed, he's very good at receiving blocks. When he receives the block, he can get pushed back, which would benefit him more at tackle. Right? It would benefit him because you can maneuver the pocket in some different and situational things here. Carter, I mean, yes, he's been pushed back into the pocket a lot, but they can't get away from him, though. See, there's a couple of things with Chester I want to point out here, even in the interior. They were pushing him, but he got underneath their pad level so much that it saved him. If he does catch the block, which I hate that Brad does this, but he does it. If he catches the block and you can still maneuver the pocket, he might work better at right tackle, yes.
Yeah, I would be interested, because
he's got athletic ability.
Yeah, I mean, that he wouldn't have been a top 100 recruit. I mean, he in high school, I mean, he carried his weight well. In my opinion, when I watched him, So I would seriously give him a look at tackle because
Let's see.
I honestly, Blake, I look last year, and this was the shocking thing because Cohen Eccles in the bowl game last year played right guard, right?
Yeah.
Could you see a world, and I'm asking you this before I share my thoughts, could you see a world where Cohen Eccles is indeed starting and or playing a lot at one of the guard spots versus Clemson?
I can't see it barring injury, no.
Yeah, it would be bold, but I would also say that over the past 10 years of Pro Football Focus data, and I disagree with a lot with what PFF has said, of the players that played 400 or more snaps, the two worst players were on last year's offense, and it was DJ Chester and Paul Mabenga. So I could understand LSU saying, look, well, let's just see what Cohen Eccles has. Maybe when the lights turn on, he's a dominant left guard, and we'll roll with him and see what we want to do at right tackle. But, I did agree with Brian Kelly and the three for sure starters. That's how I would roll it out. And then you figure out what your other two positions look like.
Is this defense really good, or is this offensive line just really struggling? Is that the talk coming? I mean, is that the question that we're all trying to answer here?
Yeah, it's a mix. And we've seen this, like a few years ago, the LSU offensive line going into the Florida State game in 2022, the right tackle who started the game versus Florida State had some good practices, Cam Wire. And then obviously when the game started, it was tough, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to be very cautious of which players actually look great going into a game, because it could just be the matchups. It could just be one of those units just aren't good. Blake, it's probably a mixture of both. I always hate answering it that way, but it probably is. I have moved like Bernard Gooden up on my season-long expectations. But then again, this is a fifth-year, somewhat undersized DT going up against what everyone that has been in practice has said has been the weakest part of the unit, which has been guards, right? Mm-hmm. So I still think Bernard Gooden's going to be a really good player for LSU. And I am really excited about this defensive front, Blake. I really, really, really am. At first I thought that I would feel a little bit more uncomfortable about the DTs going into this game versus Clemson, but my faith in that group has grown based on, with Dominic McKinley, all the hype that has been sent my way about Dominic McKinley. Jack Pyburn in the interview you mentioned a minute ago, I just asked him, hey, who's the guy that's really shocked you from then until now? And he said, it's Dominic McKinley. He could have picked anybody. And he said it was Dominic McKinley. So, you and I have had our thoughts on Dominic and all of that. But if he is having the camp that, we expect him, or that he's had up to this point, you should feel that you're going to get some games where you get some 5-star ROI from this kid who's an athletic marvel on Bruce Feldman's freaks list. So, I've grown on this defensive line, but, we'll see when the lights are on.
Brian Kelly did say today that defense, that he just didn't have the depth that he's had. I do think that they pretty much know who they're rolling out there. I will be real with you. I don't think that they have a second boundary corner yet.
Interesting. Keep going.
They keep rolling everybody and their mama out there at the second boundary corner, which kind of worries me a little bit in the sense of they've put Stamps, Johnson, Pickett, and Woodland. They have not locked. I know for a fact they hadn't locked that one down. I mean, because they're rotating so much. The only corner that's out there every play with the first team is Mansour Delane. Only one.
And I'll back that up. I do feel there's real fluidity. Anyone
they don't know. They don't know.
I've heard basically the same thing. And yeah, one thing I will mention though, Blake, is, and this could all takes expose me because this guy is getting a lot of hype going into this next year. And there is some history with LSU here. Tristan Lee can be beat of Clemson. Right?
Oh, yeah. That whole offensive line can.
But in particular, Lee had his issues when he went up against like the dudes on the schedule.
And Blake Miller gave up 4 sacks in 7 plays.
So
tackle against Texas.
I had a Clemson guest on this week, Blake, and normally around this time, I'm diving deep into Clemson footage, getting all the practice reports. I am a believer in their Adam Randall experiment at running back. Normally, when a player is switching positions out of necessity, you're kind of skeptical, but that dude is unbelievably athletic and runs with a lot of power for a receiver going over to running back. But man, like Clemson, that was the worst ACC schedule that Dabo has ever faced. It's just that simple. I mean, that was the worst Florida State team ever. Wake Forest was ass. NC State, they caught him at the right time with the injuries. That was ass. It was unbelievable. Like when I was watching clips, I was like, well, this isn't really a team that they're playing. And two things could be true at once, right? You could still be really high on Clemson and all that young returning production and some transfer portal guys and an upgrade at DC. But at the same time, their last season, I've heard this plenty of times that was one of Dabo's like better coaching jobs. I could not disagree with that more. I mean, he did fine. But that was they did what they were supposed to do with what the ACC was last year. So I'm still really high on Clemson going into this game, Blake, but it's crazy how even though they lost in the first round of Texas, it's still overrated what Clemson actually accomplished last year.
You know what's interesting? Everybody has come in and said, and they very well may show that this has changed. Their biggest defensive weakness was LSU's biggest offensive weakness a season ago. Carter, they got exposed in the run game. Exposed. Right. I don't care what any of you tell me. That ain't scheme. The yards they gave up on the ground is not scheme. They got pushed around. I don't want to hear, well, the DC couldn't get these guys up. Dog. Blake Baker, Matt House. The same personnel runs out there. We have film of Louisville pushing Peter Woods around. TJ Parker got pushed around by Banks. Pushed around. I mean, mollywopped. He didn't have a tackle for loss against a ranked opponent all year. The thing is that you can't run the football. Yeah. If you were a team top 40 in rushing, I'm thinking you're going in there and whipping that ass. I think you'd bend them over and smack that ass. I really do. But it gets to a point where, look, their biggest weakness is our biggest weakness. I mean, it comes down to simple as that. And quite frankly, too, Carter, everybody's talking about this defensive line, and I think that to some extent they're wrong. Against Clemson, let me tell you why. Go back and watch everything that they do. Klubnik, unless they get put in third and long situations, they are getting the ball out of his hands massively quick. They don't want him sitting back in the pocket. Mesh, drags, it doesn't matter. They don't want him sitting back there. Your secondary is going to have to win you this game too. Tackling in space is going to win you this football game. If you lose it, I'm telling you right now, if you lose this game, one massive talking point would be you could not tackle in space well enough. Bottom line.
Yeah, and
they're not going to change schematically offensively. They're just not going to.
One big thing, and this is going to be weird, Blake, from because neither one of us are actually going to the game. I kind of wish I were going to this game because
Clemson's got to live, baby. Post games must live.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: is Clemson, when they get a big play offensively, they're going to hit some big ones, right? Cade's a very talented deep ball thrower, and the receivers are good. They're going to hit some. Hopefully, we'll limit to maybe 2 or 3. I am going to cheer like crazy if we shoestring tackle them at the 10-yard line or 15 or 20-yard line, because that very well could be the difference, right? Just making those touchdown savers, right? And that's why I feel so much more comfortable about LSU going into this matchup, because it really was when I was going through and rewatching all the LSU games, there were so many instances where I was like, damn, I wish we could have just made that tackle to make them convert in the red zone. And
our safeties ran away.
Right. And it really was that simple, pushing Jaden Ball into the end zone. I still have nightmares about that, but good luck in Oxford.
Mine's the Lenora Sellers.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, that
one's the worst,
right?
Because you just did on that one.
But that's going to be so key. Like just making because West Coast got real breakaway juice. He's very wiry after the catch on those deep balls. So just making those touchdown savers is going to be so big. This was interesting, Blake. This was someone in our Discord. I have an analytics ace, and what he did was he used his numbers, Blake, to run what Clemson's schedule would have been based on their postseason advanced metrics if they had played LSU schedule, what their record would have been. And his numbers said Clemson would have been a 6-6 team had they played LSU schedule. Now, once again, I don't know if I fully agree with that, but it was interesting. And he said his postseason numbers for LSU was like more an 8-4, 7-5 type of team based on what would have told him how the season would have played out. And once again, it's just
metrics now.
He just ran those numbers just randomly. It's like, Carter, I just want to do this. Shout out to my guy Emil.
He has some advanced analytics that we're going 10-2 or 7-5.
Well, I'll tell him to go run it.
Yeah, why are we waiting? Yeah. Let's not even play the game. Stop the count. If it's 10-2, stop the count.
Well, that's the thing. It's just a computer. Like I'm a big analytics guy, but that's why I don't fully go all in on analytics, because it's just a predictive measure. But I thought that was very, very, very fascinating. I thought it would have been 8-4, 9-3, but he said Clemson, in theory, would have been a 6-6 team. Once again, I don't know.
They have question marks too, but
yeah, they do. Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. LSU has found ways not to finish. A&M, Florida, USC, shit. A couple of years ago, Ole Miss. Shit, almost this year, past year, Ole Miss. Alabama, you just got mollywopped, but you couldn't finish 2 years ago. I mean, the defense was that bad. You started, what was his name over Braden Swinson? God bless it. What was his name?
Oh, Ovi.
Ovi Agofu.
No.
You started Ovi Agofu over Braden Swinson. How dumb are you, Matt House, to do that? So you have not finished games. You haven't. And listen, there comes a point in time where you got to look as a fan, say you got to go out there and prove it. I know we're all high on this team. And I said this the other night too, Carter. I think this has been the best camp in 5 years for Garrett Nussmeier that I've ever seen. It's not remotely close. We had somebody on our message board bring up all of the last season's practice reports. By this time, this was last Thursday. By this time last year, he had thrown 13 picks in all the practices that we had gone to. By the way, we had been out there the same number of days. We have one. And the maturity level there, what I've seen Garrett do, I think will keep you in more games than at any point a season ago. Bail out on him and watch what happens. Blake Baker came out with a comment. Let me give context to the Blake Baker comment from a couple weeks ago. He called Garrett Nussmeier a pain in his ass on the field. Want to know why? They kept playing quarters. This was non-scripted. It was legitimate LSU defense versus LSU offense. Non-scripted 11-on-11. They ran quarters on Garrett. He kept checking that bitch down. He kept running. He's like, you going to run quarters on me? Watch this shit. He's matured. This is what I'm going to tell you. If Garrett Nussmeier finds a way early to get the ball out in space to these playmakers, and then you can start taking some shots deep, I feel a lot more confident about where you sit. I think Clemson's breakable. But you got to do the early things first. It's like Muhammad Ali. I'm going to jab you 5,862 times. But then in the eighth and ninth round, here comes the haymakers, and you're going down. You're going down. Garrett's done that a lot. And I think he's matured in some of the things that he's done. He can carry you in the first early part of this with this offensive line that does give me encouragement. I don't give two flying shits if you got 1 rushing yard or 1,000 rushing yards versus Clemson. If you can get the ball out to Caden Durham and get 5 and 6 yards and get down, I don't give a fuck what it looks like. I've seen TJ Parker quit. I've seen TJ Parker. I've seen Peter Woods quit. I've seen TJ Parker quit. I've seen Sammy Brown quit. I've seen Woodaz quit. All in the middle of a game. The first time they couldn't tackle Lenora Sellers, go back and watch that fourth quarter run. They gave up. They gave up. All right. Let 13 get hot. But I don't trust Sloan to put enough in the emphasis of Garrett to toss the ball down to 22 and 29. I don't. I really don't.
Well, you got a few super
chats, yeah. Broad 337 on the $5 super chat says Clemson fans seem to think Cade is running all over us. Are we ready for that? Carter, I brought this up the other night. When's the last time you watched that South Carolina game versus Clemson?
Yeah. Cade ran well.
Oh, shit.
No.
I mean, hold on. Hold on.
No.
This is Nick Emenwari, the South Carolina safety, ran a sub 4.3 40 at the combine. He had a 40-plus inch broad jump or 40-plus inch vertical, and he jumped 11-something broad jump. The most athletic guy at the combine. He outran him. He hit the sideline for 50 yards and outran him. K. Klubnik doesn't run a 4.3. He can move, brother.
Yeah, Cade's got juice, man. Athletically, he is very elastic, if you will. I mean, his arm's elastic. I mean, that throw in the first drive versus Texas, that was just insane.
Yeah,
right. But
he can move, man. He can really move.
In praise of Cade, he had a massive fumbling issue his first year, and he's worked on it. He works his ass off. He's got a great work ethic. But I go back to the game that really put Clemson on the map last year, which was that SMU conference title game.
Went to overtime.
Yeah, I mean they caught so many breaks. I mean, I stay up late rewatching that game, and that was the last game of the games that I really wanted to sit and chart and all those things. And there were so many things that went his way, and he did miss Wesco on a deep one that really would have put that game away. But he's very good. I mean, would you say that ACC college version of Cade Klubnik is better than Jordan Travis?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's close, but
no, I don't think it's close. Carter, he had 40 touchdowns and 6 turnovers last year.
Oh,
by the way, he faced the SEC champion, he faced the runner-up, and he faced a 9-3 South Carolina. So it's not like he didn't play SEC teams. Shit, he played 3 of them. I mean, he obliterated Texas in that second half. If they could get a yard running the football, they will beat Texas. They're on the way coming back. Now, the thing with Texas was, Carter, they played with their food in every game. Every one of them. They did not have a quarterback that was a killer. They didn't. He was a puppy. I mean, he was not a killer.
Yeah. But
they almost lost to Vandy. They almost lost to A&M. I mean, they play with their food.
This is one of the better rollouts of QBs that LSU has ever faced.
Ever.
This season.
Came out at the beginning of the segment. I don't know if you heard me. Carter, I could make the argument today this is the toughest schedule in the country.
Who LSU's this year? Yeah.
Yeah.
You can make a very strong case. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're playing. No, go on.
Before we get out of here, I'm going to get this last super chat. I think John Mateer's good.
No, yeah.
So always, hey Dale says, Blake, please tell BK at the press conference to put Kern at left guard. I mean, I'm not doing that.
I'll DM Brian Kelly afterwards saying Blake Ruffino's audience is demanding you put Kern.
I just want to see it.
I do too.
I just want to see it. That's all. All right. Thursday night, I'll be on with you, correct? Did you check your Thursday calendar?
Well, it depends. I have to move the schedule. I got to go to. I have to move my show around. I mean, could you do 5:30 on Thursday? Is that doable?
I can make that work.
Okay, we'll do that.
All right.
But shout out to you, Ruffino, and Joe Show, all that stuff. I'm looking forward to doing this. And what's for? You eat dinner before, and
yes.
I'm a little worried because you're a shrimp guy, right? You like shrimp.
Yeah. Why would you be worried?
Because this year there's radioactive shrimp out there.
Well, no wonder I've been lifting so damn much,
dude. Because I've seen you eat the shrimp. That when I went to your house last, I saw you eat that shrimp. I should have texted you when the news broke earlier today that there is a recall on the. I think it's the Great Value shrimp or the Members Mark shrimp.
I hadn't eaten any. No, let me tell you what I've gotten addicted to is smoked chicken thighs on the corner.
Oh, bless. How do you season it?
I don't. The little convenience store up here, not convenience store, grocery store, they have a guy that smokes all this food. And so if you want to, you can go and like pick up like dinner. And here's the thing. It's like a family pack for like $6.
I love it. Let's go.
Yeah. Hey, look, man, I'm saving money, man. I'm po.
Dude, it's hard on the YouTube streets, man. It is.
It's hard out here for a pimp when you're trying to get the money for the rent.
Dude.
All the Cadillac and gas money spent, and I got a whole bunch of bitches talking shit.
Oh my God. But there you go. I kind of want to do on one of your shows, or you can do it on mine on Thursday, is literally write down our boldest takes for the SEC this year, because I love coming on here and talking about LSU football.
Here's a bold take for you. Oklahoma's a playoff team. You say bold take, I don't agree with it, but it's a bold take to have. Okay. I think right now they're 8-4, 9-3 team. But if John Mateer is as good as people think he is, that would be a bold take. What's another one?
Okay, here's one I wanted to bring up to you, and I do have to skedaddle, but
okay,
your friend Chris Phillips, SEC Unfiltered,
yes,
fearless guy. I've seen it. He is.
He don't give a fuck.
Just going after all the big wigs. Next thing you know, he's going to say, "Well, Kirk Herbstreit, you got to do something about that hair." I mean, that'll be his next tweet. I love it.
I'm staying out of it.
I am too. I'm just messing. Chris is a good guy, but he did his like projections, and he doesn't claim to be like Dave Vartu or Bill Connolly or whatever. He just tweets out a graphic of his records. Right. I would say that how he has his season playing out would be my favorite run out of an LSU season, outside of going undefeated, of course, is going 10-2. And he had the losses at Alabama and at Oklahoma. I would love that. That would be my favorite LSU run out, because more than likely that puts them out of the SEC championship game, which I do not want them to play. And that gets them more than likely a home playoff game. That'll probably put them at a 6, but that would put them at a 5, 6, 7, or 8. Would you guess if they went 10-2?
No, they won't. They wouldn't be that high.
Oh, you think they'd be lower at 10-2?
I think they'd be 7 or 8, 7, 8, or 9.
Right. Okay. 7 or 8 is all you need to host a playoff game.
Yeah. I don't think that they would get, because you got to think about this. The Big Ten's going to have a champion. The runner-up, the SEC is going to have a champion and a runner-up. if you're the fourth team in that scenario, which you would be because you would be losing to Alabama, and then, is Oklahoma with their schedule, how do you translate that? So again, the way that he has it playing out, you would have the conversation at the end of the year, does LSU deserve to get in over Oklahoma, even though Oklahoma beat them at the end of the year? Oklahoma faces a tougher schedule than we do.
Oh, you think?
No, there is no thinking. There's no thinking, because you would have Texas and Alabama in that schedule along with LSU. So if Alabama, Texas, and LSU all made the playoff, okay, in this scenario, and let's just say they go 1-2 against them, and LSU goes 1-2 against them, then I mean, you just get to that point where the on-play field's got to matter,
right? But what if Oklahoma's not that good?
Well, then you're not having that conversation. You're just saying you couldn't finish.
Yeah. I think
I hate the scenario that you're going 11 and you'd be 10-1, and then you lose the last game. That would suck.
It would suck until you miss the SEC title game.
I want to win the SEC.
What?
If you're 10-1, let's just say hypothetically you're 11-1, and the schedule you just went through, that means that you can beat Texas, Georgia, or Alabama.
Right, in the SEC title game.
And I want to go for it because I would rather take that first round bye too.
But even after what we saw last year in the first round byes?
It's not going to be that. It's not going to be like that though.
Yeah, it might not be like that every year,
no,
but
it's not going to be like that because they gave the automatic qualifiers the byes.
Oh, okay. So you think it's going to be different
like that
because Boise State's not going to have it. Okay, I see.
Or Arizona State. Well, because you could literally have 2 SEC teams and 2 Big Ten teams that have the byes because it's not there's an AQ model, but the seeding's at large.
Oh, look, Mike Guidry's calling me out. He says you need to study more. You question OU having a more difficult strength of schedule than LSU. Then that applies to Blake because Blake also just said a minute ago that.
I think they got a tougher schedule than us.
Okay, but didn't you say a minute ago you thought LSU might have the toughest schedule in the country?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's great. I'm not to Mike in the chat.
You look at these comments too much. Don't worry about him.
No, I'm meta. I like to get along with Mike. Mike Guidry sounds like a hardworking plumber who's cracking a Miller Lite right now.
Well, the last name Guidry, he's on a shrimp boat, and you already talk shit about shrimp.
I love shrimp. I want the radioactive shrimp. I'm trying to get my bench press. I'm trying to get my bench press up.
What if the radiation makes you grow more hair?
Oh, dude, I would be starring alongside Han Solo in a. Are you a hairy? But are you a hairy man? I'm not afraid to admit I'm a hairy man. You're not blessed like us. I mean, and Travis.
Because of the beard, you would think that I'm very hairy. Shaved. Name that movie.
No, I can't. I didn't think you were gonna get the
other guys.
Wait, that's the other guys?
Yeah, remember he goes to Christina's house and then her new husband. He goes, "You think because of the beard, I'm very hairy." Shaved.
Oh, Farrell. What a legend.
It wasn't Farrell. I forget the guy's name, but Farrell was in the movie. But I
don't remember the line.
A great movie.
Oh, the beginning of that movie is the best beginning of a comedy of all time. I'm sorry. Like I know there's been other
Samuel L. Jackson's line in that. Do you think we want to be having all the sex that we're having because we don't?
I was just kidding. Okay. Oh my God!
I wanted you to talk. Sing a hand up your butt and move your mouth like a puppet.
Will Ferrell having the hottest wife of all time. Oh my
Gator. God! They gave her a nickname, Gator. I'm going to watch that movie tonight. You can't convince me otherwise. All right.
All right.